What's on our mind? Oh, it gets a little warm in the south. You in the south? But the flow. Well, and that's the big thing too. A lot of people, I mean, I remember playing games like Halo or anything really, where you would have to basically, like you said, combos, gauge, okay, how far can I be for that combo? What can I do to like lengthen the combo? What can I do to, do the combo? Okay, there's a gap in between. Do I close the distance and go for a different, faster combo? Or do I have to create distance?
Well, that's like I was saying, was like keeping the juggling. And it's funny that, our podcast is called Conversation Combo Combos, because like that's what it's really all about, is getting those combos and keeping it consecutively and continuously keeping that flow of combo. You played Ninja Gaiden before, right? Yeah, Ninja Gaiden is pretty nice, and it's obviously it's solo, but like the stuff you do to these, like, just these poor AIs that get blessed upon your field as your Ryu, you're just like over here just decimating them, and you can switch your weapon between a scythe, a staff. You get the claws and stuff like that. I love Ninja Gaiden. That game is just like absolutely fire. I know they're coming out with a second one, like preach to the producers, but yeah, like the fighting mechanics for all these fighting games, it's crazy. The Naruto games, it's very generic when you're talking about Storm, because it's always like, if people don't know the whole shtick of it, of how to keep your combos going, it gets a little like tricky for them, because like they think that they have to go in directions and stuff like that when they're doing their basic like square attacks, or if you're playing on Xbox, you're in, what was it for the alternation of Xbox? Because if PlayStation is square, Xbox would be X, yes, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you're talking about like you're trying to keep that combo going and stuff like that, but in this case, it would be you would use your chakra. So what I like to do is that I would use my chakra, and then I would rush towards the person, hit, and then rush towards them again and keep the combo going. And if they use a substitution, keep on going with the combo. And then if my chakra is getting low, substitution, use the chakra, substitution. If they keep on doing it, then eventually someone's gonna run out of substitution, because you only get 4 substitutions when you're doing the Ninja Storm. You don't get any more than that. Now you can do perfect block, or you can do the concussion, whatever like that, with the ninja tools, but you got to be on point with it.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of it is either the longevity, you outlast your opponent, or you dwindle your opponent.
I will never play you. I will never play you in Dead or Alive. I would never pick up the controller against this kid playing Dead or Alive. This kid is extremely disrespectful. I'm telling you, when you die, or after the match is over, you're still getting smacked.
Just because the bell rings doesn't mean it's over.
He pulled the Rocky Balboa. He said, "I didn't hear no bell," and he over here still smacking you on the floor while you over here like the match is over, like it was already announced, and he's still smacking you, bouncing you, and it's just like, dude, like I'm dead, bro. Well, like we got 5 rounds. Like there's still some length.
And I mean, a lot of it, I mean, you do the combo, and just because you do the combo, and just because you sub out, doesn't mean that combo has to end.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I think pissed off our buddy, because he would try those leg kicks while, I'm standing there, I'm like, come on. I'm like, you do the combo, you lead it, and he would start kicking me in that foot over and over. I'm like, dude, stop.
I hate
stop
people
doing that move.
I hate people who do the constant same move. It's like, okay, that's all you got.
I'm
that's
like,
your bread and butter.
Okay, you go get it now. You go get it. Once you stop, you got to stop eventually, and then you jump over them, get behind them, boom, boom, boom. I nailed the combo, and then on top of nailing that combo, I'd hit them up and volley them, and then it's like, guess what? This person may be out of stamina, but remember, I got a tag in, and that's the thing I like about Dead or Alive.
The thing that pissed me off when I would play games with my dad was that he always had this one maneuver, was that he would jump towards me, and then he'll hit me as he's jumping, and then hit me on the bottom, and then he'll jump and hit me again as he's jumping and hit me on bottom and stuff like that, and try to get me in the corner. I figure out his shtick. Yeah. So what I started doing was just like, okay, so you're jumping towards me, I'm gonna jump towards you too. So we're both jumping, and I was still blocking while I was jumping, because some of these games, they have that aspect where you could block while you're jumping. But I figure out the maneuver, and I was just like, okay, bet. And then this was Street Fighter, and he was Ken, and I was Ryu, and I was like, all right, bet. And we were going all out. Dude, the end of the match ended up in a draw, because we just kept on going back and forth. Like, I knew his stuff, and he knew my stuff, and I was just like, okay, we're gonna go toe to toe. And it was 5 rounds. Bam, 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 bam. I was throwing my Hadoukens. He was doing his Shoryukens. He was trying to do the spinning kick, what the fusion. Yeah. And we were just going back and forth and stuff like that. And then it came to that final moment where we both threw a Hadouken, and then we both died, and it said tie. I was like, what? I was like, damn, like, that's crazy. I'm like, wow.
That's literally, I had an experience close to that. But, I mean, and I was fighting our friend, Johan, shout out to Johan. He is definitely, if you're going to reckon with someone, I don't know if he still games like that today, but he's definitely a force to reckon with if you're playing Naruto or any fighting games, because I fought him, and he's not going to tell the truth. I fought him, and he was Rock Lee. Not Kid Rock Lee, but Rock Lee.
Yeah, mid-age.
And I was fighting him. We got to the end, and I have people who watched us do this.
And by the way, guys, this was not Naruto.
That's right. The Xbox 360.
Yeah, this was the Xbox 360. This was Naruto Broken Bonds. Broken not to get it confused with the one that was the previous assessor.
Yeah. We were fighting, and then next thing you know, the dust settled. Like, there was sliver of health for both of us. There was dust everywhere, and it settled. Next thing you know, I just saw his character drop to the floor. And I mean, I jumped up like a kid in a fucking candy store. I was like so hyped. Because like I said, I mean, he's a force to reckon with. Yeah. Especially when he plays certain characters.
Well, when it comes down to fighting games, it's very competitive. And people don't like playing competitive games because they get way too, like I'll be honest with you, like, I get pissed off when I play Smash. Yeah. Like, I'll be honest with you, I can't do the drop-offs. I can't. Like, you can attest to this. I can't do the drop. Like, my roster goes for Smash is my number one guy, and this
Little
is
Mac.
No. Actually, yes. Lil Mac is definitely my MVP. He's number one. It goes Little Mac, Terry. I call him Terrible Terry because like his combos and stuff like that. If you get him, he's kind of like Lucario. If you get him down to short health, he's a lot stronger. So when you get him down to that bare minimum, and I do like a special on you or whatever like that, it doesn't matter what my special move is. It's instantly gonna knock you out.
Yeah.
It goes Little Mac, Terry, Meta Knight, Lucario. Who's the last one? Donkey Kong. Cloud and Sephiroth. I like Cloud a little bit more because I like his movesets. Sephiroth, his bread and butter is his like the way he casts his I forget the name of what the move is called, but if you hold it for a certain charge, it like literally like obliterates them. Like it's just a high impact. But if you do it on a short thing, it kind of pushes them back a little bit. If you hold it for mid range, and then it like smacks them a little bit like farther back, but when you hold it, it does more damage. And actually before Cloud, Sora. Yeah. Because when we got Sora, I remember the DLC that dropped for Smash on the Nintendo Switch. Dude, I was trying to get that DLC the day it dropped, and it literally was giving me like nothing but errors. Yeah. Because everybody was trying to. Everybody. Like, I was just like, I paid the money. How come, like, it's not downloading? I turned off my Switch, turned it back on. I turned off the Wi-Fi, turned it back on. I checked the game if it needed an update. I updated the game, see if that was the problem. Well, went into the game, and then I was finally able to play as Sora.
Well, and that's the big thing. I mean, I know no shade on Switch or Nintendo in general, but Nintendo, a lot of their games, like, if you need like something fixed ASAP, you're not going to get it done. And usually, like, what it is what it is. Their customer service is phenomenal. Like, they're pretty chill.
Yeah, I know, because you definitely, like, you experienced that. Yeah.
I literally, like, my bank screwed me over and was like, no, you authorized the transaction, so, yeah, you're going to pay for it. And I was like, well, dude, do you realize they took the content away from me? So I don't have the content, and you're going to make me pay for it just because I authorized it? It's like, at the end of the day, they're going to refund me, whether it's through a gift card or credit, or they send it to you guys.
Oh, I wanted to tell you this. GameStop isn't doing cash anymore.
Yeah,
no. So if you're doing trade-ins, so let's say if your trade-in is higher than $20, they have to give you a gift card.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I meant to tell you, but I wasn't, because I usually am kept up with that stuff, because obviously my wife worked there, so. But yeah, they don't do cash unless it's like dirt money, like, and even then they're very like.
Yeah, because they don't hold cash anymore, which I don't understand why they do that. I don't know if it was something that happened with a robbery or something.
Well, exactly. It's to prevent robbery. We're in a day and age where everything's digital, anyways.
I was about to say, but like, when's the last time you heard someone that's gonna rob GameStop? Like, I want all the fucking games up in this bitch. Well, you see that PS5? Give me that shit. Like.
You gotta think though, we're in a day and age where people are desperate. Everybody blames the government for why they're poor. Everybody blames, racism for why they're poor. Everybody like, oh, I have to rob this store, or I have to resort to, bad stuff like robbery or stealing food or whatever because of the position I'm in, because my father's not in my life, because, we're oppressed.
Yeah.
And, it's just like, we make excuses for it. And several times, Sierra, my wife, has told me, hey, like, yeah, this GameStop was robbed, or hey, this GameStop, they tried robbing it. And you see videos all the time. It's like, and they tell you, they say, when someone comes in and they buy a brand new game, $60 or $70 game, brand spanking new, they buy it, and then they walk out of the store, they walk back in and say, hey, I didn't open this game at all. Can I get my money back? They say no. They're told to say no because you can't get your money back because you need to go outside. They're like, GameStop employee will tell you straight up how it is. Like, hey, go outside, go out in your car and open the game, and you'll be like, come back in, and then I can trade it in.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
they're trying to help you out.
Yeah. Like some GameStop employees, they'll help you out. I worked at GameStop myself too, so I definitely know how it is. Just letting y'all know, the field destroy is true. So for dumpster divers out there, like, keep on doing what y'all doing because y'all are definitely going to find treasure. But besides that,
it's not a good company to work for
at all. It's not a good company to work for, but if you're trying to reap the benefits, like, let's say if you're trying to, like, not even just discounts, if you're trying to do beta tests, because that's what we would do, like, brand new spanking game just came out.
They don't even do that anymore. You can't even do that.
Oh.
You literally, the game comes out, you have to wait till the game comes out. Once the game comes out, then you can take the game out, and you have it for, like, I think 5 days or 7, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they usually give us a week.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. The most you can do is get, when the game comes out, you can get it out. And even then, they're very strict with that. They're like, oh, the game just came out, so we need enough copies in case someone wants one. And it's like...
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, if you're getting a surplus amount...
Well, and plus... How are you going to push sales if you don't even know about the game? Like,
yeah, exactly.
A new Final Fantasy drops.
The thing for me, when I was working at GameStop, I would always, like, tell people, like, hey, like, that game's, like, pretty good, but I think you would like this game a lot more because it has this, and that. And I kind of liked our midnight premieres because, like, there'll be a lot of people that would be getting hype. I mean, like, you had people that were literally bringing over their fight stick for fight games, and that's how you knew it was getting serious. First of all, as a gamer who does fighting games, you having a fighter stick, like, just that alone, it changes the whole gameplay because it's a lot more intricate. It's a lot more detailed, and there's a lot more stuff you can do with it because with the analog and the buttons, it's the activation is like a lot more on par than if you were playing it on a DualSense controller or Xbox controller or a Switch controller because the reaction time is a lot faster. But that being said, you are gonna spend, about $1 or $2 to pay for. You get what you're paying for,
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna pay like $100 or $200 for a fighting stick, then you best believe be practicing on that fighting game. That's why I haven't been most recently playing fighting games because I don't have a fighter stick right now. But later down in the future, when I do purchase one, I would be jumping back on that bandwagon. It's a lot more fluid. It's a lot more liquid. You feel a lot more loose. It's just straightforward. You just have the analog stick, and then you have the buttons that you need to press. So it's just it's
the retro
very,
arcade style.
Yeah,
it's very simple and straightforward.
It's a nice nostalgia. It's a nice nostalgia, and it's a lot more like there's definitely not more freedom because everything's a little bit more like compact and it's put more in front of you. But at the same time, you kind of are a little bit used to it because like you played arcade games, so you put 2 quarters in. All right, like we doing Street Fighter, you know what I'm saying? So it's just something you're at least somewhat accustomed to.
Yeah, see, and I think that would be my weakness for if we did any fighting games, and that's why I think a lot of games I'm kind of hesitant on jumping in with you because I'm more of a fast combo, fast pace, okay, sub out, but I like the, relay it back to Dead or Alive, where you do a combo, you hit them up, and then you could sub in, and as your sub is coming in, they can do an attack and start hitting you again.
Yeah, because Naruto, I want to say Naruto Ninja Storm, I think it was either 3 or the 4th Continuum. they started establishing that you could have a assist, and all you had to do was use the analog stick to throw them in. And I was doing chains upon chains because you could swap them out like continuously.
And keep
So
combos going.
yeah, because one moment I would be Itachi, one moment I would be Senshun, which is another person from the Itachi, and then I would be Sasuke. So I would just be running back to back, just smacking back and forth, just like hitting them and stuff like that. Or my number one favorite character, Minato, Yellow Flash.
Yeah.
Like Yellow Flash, like the name speaks for itself because his combos were just like, oh my god, they were just like amazing. Like it was just like the minute that you started the match, bang, 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 boom, get your space, or you run back into them, bang, 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 boom, make your space, or if you have the assist, throw another person in there, go back to Minato, bang, 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 switch another character, bang, 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 switch another character, bang, 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 switch another character, back to Minato, and it was just like, it was just a format that you knew for a fact that Minato was the person that was going to carry the team because his combos were fast. He had a high FPS, which, again, I bring it back to because the FPSs really matter because it's the frame rate. Just able to hit the opponent at a fast rate and then bring it back. I mean, I love Mortal Kombat. I've been a diehard fan of Mortal Kombat. I know how you feel about Mortal Kombat. I get it. You know, people ruin certain games for us because they play it like way too much. But
it's a good game.
Yeah, I love Mortal Kombat because the DLCs that they have with like certain characters. Like my favorite out of them all is Mortal Kombat. Not 10, but Mortal Kombat 11 because of I like the combat more than what came out with the most recent Mortal Kombat because it was more aerial based. You were doing more like up in the air attacks. Now, that's not to say something that I can't get used to, not saying that it's something bad. I'm not trying to harsh on that game, but you have to get yourself used to the gaming format and also like the mechanics of it so that way you kind of get yourself like nice and like bread and butter to it and you kind of smooth into it so that way you're able to get those combos and stuff like that. And even UFC, when I be playing the UFC games, because the UFC games they go into UFC 2 I loved a lot. UFC 1 it was okay. UFC 3 that's when it was like kind of like a little bit iffy. Then UFC 4, it was like kind of like getting a little bit better, but then like when they finally did like the last one, well supposedly the last one, it was a lot more like liquid and it was more fluid and you were able to do like certain stuff like with the dodging, the weaving, and you know I'm still like kind of like getting in, I'm still getting to the quirks of it. And Fight Night Round, that was like a very classic game. Then when they came out with the most recent game, damn, I can't remember the game. Do you remember the box game that I was playing? Damn, I'm trying.
There's a lot of them.
It was the most recent one that just came out, but
no.
Yes,
yeah,
Undisputed was a pretty decent boxing game. Pretty decent. The only thing that I didn't like was that like you were like if you swung, you weren't like you had to be on point, and if the opponent wasn't in front of you, you'd just be swinging like straight up at air.
Well, yeah, and also I noticed you do leg kicks, and if they had their other leg up off the ground while you did a leg kick on their other leg, they would drop to the floor.
Oh yeah, well that's more so UFC.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nice because the UFC games incorporate a lot more like realistic actuality, whereas games like Naruto and stuff are more like fast paced. What combos, like how like distance, whereas to boxing is
I mean,
distance.
you tapped more into Dead or Alive. How were you able to like really get those combos in?
I think it was speed. It was just my mind is very like
Because your reaction time,
Get
it was just like I'm
fast.
trying to nail this kid, and I can't even nail a hit.
I'm
on him.
already like, I mean, I treat it like a chessboard. It's like you got to be 5, 6 step, not 1 or 2. You got to be like 5 or 6 steps ahead of your opponent because you're looking for a pattern. I can't make a pattern. If I make a pattern, you can study it, you can analyze it, you can get ahead of me. No patterns.
Mm-hmm.
You do a combo, you don't do that combo again till later on.
You switch it up.
And even then, when you do that pattern later on, add in a couple extra sort of punches or kicks in there to throw them off because they'll be like, oh, this is kind of like, oh, wait, nope, that's not the same pattern. I thought it was a pattern, but, oh, no, wait, yeah, no. And then while they're getting stuck up on like, oh, wait, is that a pattern or not? You're over here just nailing hits. You're just nailing hits. And then you switch out. And when you do that switch out, you got a whole nother person.
Oh, yes,
got to
that's right. They
restudy a
have switch
whole
outs.
nother person.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean...
They had some nice female characters.
And mind you, I haven't even played the second one. They came out with another one.
Yeah.
And, of course, that was in the phase of when PlayStation was upping their prices. They were like, oh, instead of like $50 games, we're going to make them, no, it was $59.99. We're going to bring them up. They're going to be $69.99. And we're like, what? I'm not paying $70 for a new game. Like,
Yeah.
why am I going to pay $10 more now? I'm just going to wait for it to go to GameStop, buy it pre-owned, and get it for like $45. Or I'll wait, let it go on sale like Black Friday or whatever and get it. I just never picked it up. But I always wondered, what if like I picked it up? Is it the same or is it a little different?
Well, the thing is, with these sequels, when they come out, there's a good amount of similarities, but they like to add a little bit, like a little dash and touch of stuff, so that way it still makes it interesting. Because they don't want to do a rinse and repeat. They want to do something.
Better.
Yeah, they want to be better. They're going to be like, how can I make these combos better? How can I make this character flow more fluid and stuff like that? So that way they're able to execute these combos. They're able to make these hits and stuff like that. But there's always, a consequence. Because, again, I always preach about it, is the frame rates.
Yeah.
Because if a certain attack is slow on frame rates, then it's not going to hit the character as fast as you want them to be. So then you might have to do a low attack, high attack, and then you hit it off with like a combo, bring them up, slam them down, bring them back up, slam them down. You know what I'm saying? It's just trying to conjoin it, and that was a huge thing. Another good fighting game, which you have, I don't know if you ever touched upon this one. It was Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Name speaks for itself,
A little
but
bit. Yeah.
it was a 2D. It wasn't like a 3D that you'd be like flying around the map and stuff like that. Very secluded,
straight screen.
Yeah, stay on the screen like 2D, and that one was
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah, to a degree, because it was more on the animation side, but they kept like good amount of animation side because like they had all the characters, and I mean, if you paid for the DLC, or if you got those extra characters. But the combat, it was like very like straightforward and fluid, because like you would do like like hit like up on the top, then you hit it on the bottom, smack them up, hit them in the air, bring them back down, smack them back up. Then you can switch the character. You can have your character do one of their special attacks, and then you can do one of your special attacks, and then you can have the third character do their special attacks. If you ever played Marvel versus Capcom, they were notorious for that, because you would have Spider-Man, Wolverine, and like Venom, and then y'all all be doing your like special attack at the same time, because Spider-Man would be like, and then Wolverine would be like, like you
Yeah,
know,
be
like
like
Ultimate
back to
Claw
back
or
to
something
back,
like that, and then it would just be like not spontaneous, but it would be consecutive. It
Yeah.
would just be back to back,
It'd
and
flow right through it.
yeah, and you didn't have to worry about the pause in between.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna open up a very big rabbit hole for us.
Oh god.
Fighting games, not necessarily strictly fighting. I mean, technically it is, but again, the Dead or Alive, quick, fast-paced strategy, having to think things through, but be ahead of your opponent. Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
Yep,
dude.
I went there. Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god.
You gotta be. I mean, through the basic of the game.
Dude, you played that game just with the Kingdom Key sword, and you didn't even know. He didn't even know about the abilities to equip.
All right. I know this is a podcast, but story time. So basically, I played Kingdom Hearts 2. Didn't even know there was a first one. Well, obviously I did because it said Kingdom Hearts 2. But didn't even recollect that there was, I should play the first one, or, there's other games. Like, no idea. Thinking, Kingdom Hearts 2.
When they're balls.
Like, completely raw dog. And I was like, Kingdom Key, alright. Like, I don't know what that means, but it's my weapon. It's a game. Started playing it. Fighting all these Heartless, going through, played the game, Kingdom Key the whole way. Sora, Doll, and Goofy. This is kind of like, okay, so it's like a Disney Final Fantasy mixed game. Start playing it, wow, this game's pretty cool. There's a lot of fighting. Like, you play with Disney characters. Like, wow, this is unique.
Yeah.
Play it with the Kingdom Key. My friend Johan comes over. Oh, you play Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, I play Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, I found this and it was really cool. Like, I'm fighting, and then he goes, you're using the Kingdom Key. Are you, like, doing, like, a Kingdom Key run-through, like, strictly Kingdom Key? I'm like, yeah, like, Kingdom Key. Yeah, that's what I'm using. And he goes, no, like, you're just using the Kingdom Key, right? You're trying to get to the end of the game with that? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm trying to finish the game. I don't get what you're talking. What are you trying to get at? And he's like, you do know there's other weapons. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, there's other weapons? I'm like, there's no way. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, hang on, let's go in your inventory. And he's like, dude, you got all these you got the Decisive Pumpkin, you got the Lion Guard, you got all these Keyblades. Wow, you could equip them. They give you special abilities and all that. And I'm like, what? So he equips a couple Keyblades for me, and then I'm like, oh wow, this one does do good. So mind you, I mean, I forget what it was. He wasn't there for long. He came over, I think, just to check on me, and then I think something happened and he had to leave, or my stepmom said, like, hey, you can only have him here for a little bit. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Long story short, basically he left, and then Ray came over, and then Ray was like, oh, you play Kingdom Hearts? Like, Johan was showing me this, and like I started playing it, and he's like, why are you like, you're just like, why does it seem like this is like hard to play? And he goes into my inventory and he starts equipping abilities, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, dude, you got all these ability points, all these abilities. Why aren't you equipping them? I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. I'm like, I knew ability points were, like, obviously in games there's ability points and stuff you use. Yeah. But I'm like, it's a Disney kind of game. So I was like, they wouldn't do that. Like, why would they're going to keep it cut dry because this is a kid's game, right? Yeah. Not realizing that this isn't a kid's game. This is like an in-depth, deep game that like has a story that is part of Disney, but also is like Final Fantasy and a little bit of its own uniqueness. Dude,
to explain the story of Kingdom Hearts, it goes
way too deep.
Yeah, it goes way too deep.
But, and then basically I was like a giddy school kid who just opened his presents on Christmas Day, got a puppy, got a freaking bike, got everything all in one shot. I was like, what in the world? I'm like, new weapons, new keyblades, freaking abilities, all that. I'm like sitting here, like, I mean, like, to say, like, Kingdom Hearts 3, you're a floaty Sora.
Yeah.
Floaty as hell.
That's the only thing I did not like. I mean, this is the fucked up thing, though. It was that Kingdom Hearts fans, they expected Kingdom Hearts 3 to be the next Messiah, and it was not the next
That
Messiah.
game took forever to come out.
Everybody was like high preaching it, like, oh my god, like Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. I was there for the debut.
I already had low expectations because, like,
I had way too many high expectations.
Me and Ray debated this because we were like, I was like, dude, they just need to come out with it. And he's like, no, they need to take their time with it because they want it to be good. I'm like, it's not going to be as great. Like, everybody's trying, like, everybody's expecting way too much. Everybody's like, we need, like you said, we need the next Messiah of Kingdom Hearts. And it's like, no, it's going to come out. And all they're going to do is just go into worlds that you either, one, haven't been in, which, granted, some of them were repeats, but they did do a couple worlds where it was like new worlds, like Monsters Inc., Toy Story.
I mean, I would at least I would expect them to do like at least a couple repeats because they did that in the first one and they did that in the second. I mean, you can't call it Kingdom Hearts without having Halloween Town,
the base worlds,
Olympus, Hercules, whatever.
You need a concrete establishment. Yeah. You need a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, you're not. I mean, Hercules, like you said. Hercules, Lion King, and Aladdin, and all those were concrete worlds that were established. Like, hey, I mean, I hate to say it, the world I hated the most was what was it? Ariel's world.
Oh, what in the second one?
In any of them, because it was just like that was their concrete world.
I mean, like Ariel one. I mean, Ariel in the first one was. I think it was a lot better because there was a lot more interaction. But Ariel in the second one, it was more on the musical base. Yeah, it was a lot more on the musical base. Now, how they did Halloween Town in the first one, and then in the second one. It wasn't like rinse and repeat, but like you kind of had the gist of it. And then when they add like the Christmas Town and stuff like that, and like that Keyblade, bro, like that Keyblade you got from that place, that shit ain't no joke. And we ain't talking about like
that was data battle worthy.
Some of the data battles you're talking about like
do with that Keyblade.
I mean, like think about it. If you're getting smacked with a fucking like swirled up fucking candy cane. Like literally straight to your fucking dome, like that. Yeah, that shit's gonna hurt.
Yeah, and I think it was. I mean, I'm not 100% accurate, but I think it was combo boost or something is what it did. And that's what you really needed.
Well, it was. I think it was combo boost and increase in strength.
Yeah.
Because that Keyblade had a lot of strength because of the impact that it was applying when you were like doing those hits. Another Keyblade that I love was the one that I didn't get myself personally. It was the one that you got when you fought Sephiroth.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've never beaten Sephiroth.
I trashed that dude. Mine and Ray's joke, because me and Ray always like. We seeked him out just to whoop his freaking butt because we were like, we always said, "What is Cloud?" Well, what is Cloud doing? He's doing your mom.
Yeah, like your mom.
It was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
but I mean, we definitely. I mean, to say I played the game several times through is an understatement because I played it several times through. I did all the data battles several times, and there was a lot of times where I couldn't beat a boss and Ray would do it for me, or he couldn't beat a boss and I would do it for him. And eventually you go back and you redo it because you're like, hey, he beat the boss for me, I want to be able to do it myself. You go back and do it.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely you got to know your ins and outs, what is the best tactic against what boss, because like you said, it's all about studying your opponent and being like, hey, what's their pattern? Just like in a fighting game, same thing for Kingdom Hearts, it was what's the pattern of each boss and what is the best pattern to beat them, or what's the best pattern to use against them.
Yeah. And once you get that understanding, it gets a lot easier. So that way if you do a second run, third run, fourth run, how many runs it takes. I mean, there's countless times where I went into like certain fighting games and I would get frustrated because it's just like, dude, like what the fuck? Like I fought this person before. It was easier on the past platform and now it's on the remake and it's like a little bit harder. But yeah, no, it definitely takes some time to do like some studying and understand the opponent's patterns and stuff like that.
That ain't even close to like you. Frustration is an understatement for me. You know, when Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
frustration that I had.
When the controllers begin thrown and you see the bits and pieces be flying.
PS2 controllers were cheap back then. We're talking PS2 era.
Yeah.
Where it's like...
those controllers were cheap, but like when you go to
it.
like the PS3... Well, PS3
was relatively cheap too, because you could buy knockoffs online.
But
PS4 no, you couldn't buy PS4.
And then PS5, oh my god.
That's when you really had to
controller price for
yourself.
PS5s?
That's when my control like reached its new level, because PS2 and PS3, like especially PS3, I mean, you remember, freaking I'd be fighting a boss exactly like you said, like I know I've defeated him before, it's just a slightly harder difficulty, like why can't I do that? And then, like you said, the controller flies, and the next thing you know, it's completely shattered. And I mean, a lot of it,
Rage quit.
Yeah. No, it wasn't even rage quit. It was more like, oh shit, I broke 3 or 4 of my controllers, and the only one I have left is a stick drift one. So I guess I can't play this game until I'm able to buy a new controller, which might not be till Friday.
Yeah, you don't want to like get into an opponent that you have stick drift, because then it's just like, damn, now I got the odds against me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will do it for this session. This was Conversation Convo Combos and a nice freestyle about gaming. We will talk to you guys again soon.